dangerous. Many of them were abused by their partner. Many of them traveled through Latin America, fleeing violence in their countries, hiking through jungles, crossing rivers, enduring hunger and exhaustion. By the time these women come to Posada, they haven't received any prenatal care. At Posada, they receive a great team of staff who welcomes them to a new community, helps them feel safe, helps them to get medical insurance and doctor's appointments, will go with them to the hospital and hold their hand. But as caring and hardworking as the Posada staff is, we aren't birth experts. But for a long time, we were the best support available for women during this time. But a few years ago, a beautiful organization was growing, and a kind of support to these women at a whole new caliber of care. Their work was aimed at accompanying them through each part of the prenatal, birth.
Shout out to Patty because she's celebrating her 20th year with Casa Marianella. Started 20 years ago with a stipend of $150 a month living in the Rock House, so pretty amazing that she hung in there with us. This past year we lost one of our great supporters, Jorge Huerta, and I'm so happy that Jorge's wife Lydia and son Ivan are here with us tonight. Can you guys raise your hands? I first met Jorge at Owensa Maritano 20 years ago. He also worked with Mobile Loaves and Fishes. But for Casa Marianella, he was there every Wednesday during our staff meeting covering the house. He was always bringing us food and supplies, and he helped us when we were raising money for our houses. He was a tremendous and wonderful support. And it was a terrible shock to lose him so suddenly. So we decided to develop a volunteer award in Jorge's name, the Jorge Huerta Award. And the very first Jorge Huerta Award we want to give to a family, Paula Blaha, Bob Nelson, and Camille Blaha Nelson. Paula has been and doing carpentry so we can hang another whiteboard. And Camille is one of our English teachers. Can all our English teachers raise their hand? It's our most rigorous volunteer job. It requires being there every week and doing preparation and going through a lot of training. So individually, these three people are all magnificent volunteers, but it's truly extraordinary that the three of them are all playing such an important role at Casa. So it's my honor to present the first Jorge Huerta Volunteer Award to Paula, Bob, and Camille. And hard work and humor and make Casa such a beautiful place to be every day. So if you work at Casa or have ever worked at Casa, could you please stand up? A benefits clinic, an acupuncturist, and a wonderful English program. We have learned to do what we do really well. We know how to write letters to people in detention that help them to get released. We work with pro bono attorneys getting their clients out of detention, and in turn ask them to represent our residents. And we work with medical professionals to take care of the medical needs of our residents, which are often profound needs such as severe diabetes and kidney failure. We have learned how to create a welcoming community. We may not speak the same language and we may not eat the same food, but we've learned how to create a space for people's differences. And we've learned how to help people move on. Each person has a case manager who helps them figure out how to get stabilized medically and legally, and how to find work and find housing. And the housing piece has gotten extremely difficult in Austin, but I am really proud of the fact that most people are able to move out of Casa in 3 months, which is quite incredible, to start from just having arrived to having safe and secure housing, which, as Abby mentioned, we were able to do with 425 people last year. Their weddings, or just to hang out because it feels like home. So I feel very, very good about what we're doing. However, we are facing a really tremendous challenge at this moment. Last summer, we began to see this very strange phenomenon of families from the Democratic Republic of Congo and Angola showing up at our houses unexpectedly. These are people who have left their homes under some terrible conditions and made the drastic decisions to take their children, including babies and tiny children, on this very dangerous journey from Brazil through Panama, all the way through Central America and Mexico to the Texas border, where they asked for asylum. They're getting favorable treatment by Border Patrol. Border Patrol has been letting people through, which is wonderful. So we've gotten 50 or 60 families that have been just released by Border Patrol. However, there's this perverse part of the U.S. immigration system, which is that you're allowed to be released to apply for asylum, but you're not allowed to work for the foreseeable future, and you're not given any government services, so you're basically left in homelessness. So these families have been showing up at our house. We, at this current moment, had to call the mayor this week because things got so out of hand, because we had like 30 people sleeping all over the floor, and then 20 more people showed up overnight last night. So we're in a serious crisis at this moment. But I'm proud to say that in the past year, we've been working to create a national network. We've found 12 different partners around the country, and we've sent 18 families to Kentucky and Kansas and Ohio and Illinois and West Virginia and Georgia and Alabama and New York. And we're looking for more. So think about that, if you know. We're asking everyone who knows someone who could help sponsor one of these families. Last week, I met a woman named Sister Magda at a conference in Washington, D.C., and she runs 23 migrant shelters in Mexico. We don't have 23 migrant shelters in the United States, and she told me the Catholic Church runs 163 migrant shelters in Mexico alone. So that's our goal, 163 migrant shelters. We'll get there. We're at 12, you know, it's the beginning. And I feel like we have to do it because when people come to our border, they have a right, and it's perfectly legal to ask for asylum when you're in need. And we're putting people in prison. We have people staying at Casa Marianella right now that have been in detention for more than 2 years, waiting to be processed, and they didn't commit any crime. So it's really important that we develop this network, because we need to be able to raise our hand and say, you don't need to detain those people, we have a place for them. But the truth is, right now we don't. So we really appreciate any of your help that you can give, thinking of other ideas for us. And meanwhile, I want to thank all of you for being here, because this is our gathering. This is our annual gathering where we get to appreciate our collaborators and sponsors. And I'm so grateful that in Austin we have such a good collaboration. It's not a competitive environment among those of us who serve the immigrant community. And I really, really appreciate all of you being here. Thank you so much.